FC welcomes Mount Pleasant Football Academy. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us here tonight. Well, another night of potential drama here in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. It's 82 degrees in Trinidad and Tobago, 86% chance of some precipitation. We hope it does hold off as best it can for this very important fixture here tonight. The Group A table looks like this. Police FC sitting in third place on 4 points. It's their last game in the group. They have to win to have a chance of still progressing because Real Hope and Cavalier still have games in hand. Mount Pleasant have another game to come next week after the game tonight, but they need to get at least a point on the board to have a realistic opportunity of still progressing before they face Real Hope next week in the final game of the group. So much at stake, and again, there's so many scenarios, and after the last 2 days of games that brought us so much drama in the Caribbean Cup, we're almost anticipating more of that here tonight. There's been so many twists, so many turns throughout this group stage, and we expect the same here tonight. The situation is simple for Police FC. They cannot lose this game, and really, they can't draw the game either. Both results, in all likelihood, especially a defeat, would eliminate them from the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. A win is the only way they realistically have a chance of staying alive. Police, with a victory, would go to the top of the table for now on 7 points. They would then have to hope that results would go their way next week when they do have the day off. So that's their pathway through. Mount Pleasant have a game next week, but really need at least a draw to have a realistic chance of progressing, because if they lose tonight, they can't catch Police FC. Even with that extra game, Police FC would have a 4-point cushion on the Jamaicans, and that means they only would have a chance of either catching Cavalier or Real Hope. Cavalier, of course, with a victory, would make it a moot point. So Mount Pleasant need to get a victory in a real way. That gives them the best chance of moving on. It would eliminate Police FC, and then it would be a little bit more in their hands next week, because if they can get a victory over Real Hope, they're through, no questions asked. Lot to chew on. Let's just start there. So much can happen tonight. So many scenarios can play out, and we will document it all for you as we tend to do. It's really exciting time just in the football calendar in general, but in this competition as well. We're right at the business end of it with semifinal places still up for grabs. Again, in Group B, we already know that Mocha and Cibao have advanced on to the semifinals. Huge deal for them, but on the other side of things, for Group A, it's still wide open. The only team that we saw there on that Group A graphic that's eliminated is Arnett Gardens, and they were so close to staying alive last night. It didn't go their way, so they're the only team out of the 5 here in Group A that still doesn't have a chance of progressing. All 4 of the other teams still have a pathway, but have to get results either tonight, whether it's Police FC and Mount Pleasant, or next week with Real Hope and Cavalier rejoining the fray after results over the last few match days. The other bit of news that we should pass along as well, Police FC playing with heavy hearts tonight. Lost a teammate of theirs earlier in the week. It was Jaden Moore, who's actually currently on loan at Morvant Caledonia in the Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League Tier 1. He was just 20 years old. He passed away 5 days ago, so Police FC will be wearing black armbands in his memory. We obviously send our best wishes, our thoughts, and our prayers as well, not just to the Moore family, but to Police FC as well during this trying time. They'll certainly be playing for him tonight. The 2 sets of combatants have entered the Coliseum, if you will, here in the Port of Spain. We'll step aside for now, but when we come back, lineups and the kickoff between Police FC and Mount Pleasant Football Academy. Now the two sets of players exchange pleasantries before this all-important Group A fixture in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. Just another night of potential drama in a week chock full of it. We're excited to see what tonight's story has for us today. The starting lineups for both teams. We dive into Police FC's 11, led by Wendell Joseph, and while in goal, Adrian Fonset captains the side. Of course, you look at the back line. Cabby Primus, Russell Jr., and Alvin Jones, all notables there. Jovan Jones also in the midfield. Mark Ramdeen, Kevon Woodley, and Kadeem Hutchinson, the front three in the attack. Now, Police FC so far, 4 goals scored, which is actually the second most in the group, but they have the most goals conceded in Group A play to this point, and it's not close. 6 goals conceded so far. That defensive unit for Wendell Joseph's side is going to have to improve some things here tonight. The referees for tonight's game, again, there's no VAR. Noberto da Silva of Curacao leads our officiating crew on the field tonight. Also Suriname, Aruba, and St. Kitts and Nevis represented amongst our on-field officials. Sule Makala is the captain for Mount Pleasant, the Jamaican side. And Theodore Whitmore, who of course has been down this path before, 2-time Jamaican men's national team coach, is the coach of Mount Pleasant, and here is his 11 tonight. Shaquan Davis gets the start in goal. Shaquille Dyer, Fitzroy Cummings, and Kyle Ming make up a back three. Makala, Jayshawn Anglin, and Gadale Irving in the midfield are the notables. Shaquille Bradford, who scored some big goals in Caribbean Cups past, is up front alongside Devontae Campbell. Well, Police FC will be in all white tonight, and Mount Pleasant Football Academy will be in all blue at the Hasely Crawford Stadium here in Trinidad and Tobago. Again, we'll keep you up to date on how the table changes throughout the evening. But again, it's pretty simple for Police. They have to win or they're pretty much out. A defeat would guarantee it that they would be out, but a draw pretty much does the same as well. And that's because they have the tiebreaker going against them in the head-to-head with Real Hope. So even if Real Hope were to struggle next week, it's more than likely that Police would still not make it. So a win is all but essential for the Trinidad and Tobago side tonight. On the other side of things for Mount Pleasant, can't be eliminated tonight, but they would be in very dire straits with a defeat. A draw would keep them in it, but they'd still need some help next week. And a victory for Mount Pleasant would actually put them in very good shape. They'd be in second in the group. They would eliminate Police today, and they would have a pathway through with a result next week to get to the semifinals. Whistle goes, and we are underway from Trinidad and Tobago. Another night where we expect a lot of wonderful play, some potential drama, and some twists and turns. It's just been the theme of this Concacaf Caribbean Cup. We just don't quite know what's going to happen next. Every game this week in particular has just been a roller coaster ride. It could very well be the same here tonight. Early challenge comes in, but the offside flag is going to go up here against Police. It's a free kick for Mount Pleasant. Another look here. Referee was right to give a free kick there, but the offside flag went up, and that takes precedent there. So the Jamaicans reset. Of course, for those that tuned in last night, we had a wild 0-0 between Real Hope and Arnett Gardens. Both teams had huge opportunities to win that game and ended up being a draw. Arnett Gardens eliminated, and again, that really opened the door for these two teams to potentially have pathways through into the semifinals. Mitchell tried to slide that all the way through. Woodley would have been closest to it for Police, but it's going to be cleared away by Shaquan Davis in goal tonight for Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant have a victory and a defeat in their 2 group stage matches to this point. Lost to Cavalier on match day 1 in the group, but they bounced back with a 2-1 win over Arnett Gardens about a month ago, August 27th. Very late goal in that game, 81st minute winner from Kamani Bailey, who is in the starting lineup tonight. You look at Police FC's journey so far, a draw with Real Hope on match day 1, but then Cavalier put them to the sword on match day 2. That really put them behind the 8 ball, but then they bounced back with a 2-1 win against Arnett Gardens a week ago today. So that's really what's kept them in it. It was a late goal from Ezekiel Kassar. He begins the night on the bench. We might see him later on in the evening. It's a good shielding job there by Kyle Ming. And it's a free kick for Mount Pleasant. Well, there is Wendell Joseph for Police FC. He's the one who really talked about it pregame. It's a must-win for Police FC. Any other result essentially ends the campaign for the Trinidad and Tobago side. Bradford on the cutback. Great ball across, and it just needed a better touch in the middle. And Police FC are able to clear just about. Now, we know that Shaquille Bradford's been a big game player in Concacaf Caribbean Cups past. He nearly gave the Jamaicans a dream start here. Lovely ball down this near side. Campbell, was he fouled? Referee says it's a corner. And of course, we look at Theodore Whitmore. My goodness, what a career he's had. Actually from Montego Bay in Jamaica. Former Jamaican men's international. Played over 120 games for his country. He's been the head coach of the Jamaican men's national team on 2 separate occasions. Most recently in 2021, took over as the Mount Pleasant coach 2 years ago, 2022. This team's on the attack. Oh, that was a chance to get a head onto it. Not cleared yet on the edge of the penalty area, kept alive. Bailey back across, it's not cleared. That's a critical touch on the recovery by Kadeem Hutchinson of all people. It's one of the attacking players for Police that has to come back and make the stop. 2 really good chances there for the Jamaicans inside of 5 minutes. And the ball there is going to bounce out of play. It's a throw-in for Police FC. Again, another great thing about the Caribbean Cup is seeing history take place. It's the first time these 2 clubs have ever met, not just in the Caribbean Cup, but in their respective clubs' history. And of course, part of that is because Mount Pleasant are still a relatively new outfit comparatively to the other teams in the tournament. They're just 8 years old. The club was founded back in 2016. And of course, it's an incredible rise because they just won the Jamaican Premiership 2023-2024. Runners-up in the playoffs after winning the regular season title. So it just tells you already in less than a decade how well they've been able to rise to power, if you will. And of course, Theodore Whitmore is a big reason why. Not many around these parts that have the kind of acumen and experience that he has at the top level. Here is Kamani Bailey. Mount Pleasant been off to a strong start here, trying to pay it off. Near side Campbell. Devontae Campbell slashing his way inside, stays with it. Finds Daniel Green, and Green is fouled. It's a free kick for Mount Pleasant. Now, this is probably just about the start that Theodore Whitmore would have been looking for here. Lots of aggressive play. That's clearly a foul. Well spotted by the referee. And on top of that, it's been aggressive. It's been smooth at times, just missing that final touch. Of course, you look at what Mount Pleasant have done so far in this tournament. Pretty good defensive side as far as the goals allowed, just 3 goals allowed, but they have the joint fewest goals scored in the group, just 2 to this point in the competition. That'll have to change if they're going to go through. It's going to be Daniel Green right into the wall. And then Campbell trying to shield away the Police FC players, commits a foul, and the hosts will get the ball back. You can see Wendell Joseph, bottom of your screen, calling for some calm here, trying to settle things down in these opening 8 minutes. Maybe not thrilled with the way his team has already been under a lot of pressure in the early stages here. Remember, time is of the essence for both of these teams. Really, in an ideal world, both teams need 3 points here. Mount Pleasant doesn't get eliminated if they don't get that, like Police does, but they'll be on the chopping block if they're not able to find a victory tonight, the Jamaicans, that's for sure. It will be very firmly in Cavalier and Real Hope's hands going into next week. The only good news there for Mount Pleasant is they do play Real Hope, but the Haitians will have the upper hand as far as who progresses. But a win for Mount Pleasant completely changes that, and it will be them who have the upper hand going into that huge clash coming up in about a week's time. Again, these two teams can't think about the scenarios that you and I are going through right now, because have to win tonight, and then you could start thinking about those moments that could be critical next week to finish off the group stage. And for one of these two sides, hopefully, from their perspectives, have a real chance still to progress. Of course, Cavalier trying to get to the semis for a second consecutive year. Of course, Cavalier got to the final in last season's Caribbean Cup, but they lost to Robin Hood over 2 legs. Here's Bailey. Good hustle to try to get to it, but in the end it's won by Russell Jr. for Police FC. And Russell Jr.'s run is magnificent. He almost gets to midfield and he is brought down. It's a free kick. Great hustle to win the ball initially. And he turns on the Jets and almost halfway up the pitch before he was bundled over by his opposite number, Jashawn Anglin. Yeah, last time around in the Caribbean Cup, it was 2 Jamaican sides that went through, a Suriname side in Robin Hood, of course, who were the champions last year, and Mocha, the Dominican Republic, who, of course, qualify for a second consecutive season, along with fellow Dominican Republic side, Cibao, who we'll see one more time next week. The last thing to decide in Group B is which of the sides from the Dominican Republic are going to top the group. That's the last thing up for grabs there. And much like the qualification out of Group A, that will be decided next week. Then we'll know who the final 4 will be. This is gonna bounce in behind. Shaquille Bradford holds up the play brilliantly here, finds Green, and Green, oh, it was audacious, but it was too firm in the end. It's a goal kick. I think Daniel Green realized that it was a low percentage opportunity. It was a clever touch after some wonderful hold-up play here from Bradford. Did about as well as you could ask for there, and then Green went for the spectacular But again, he puts too much on it in the end, and it's comfortable for the Police FC goalkeeper Fonset. It was sent upfield initially by McCullough. Mount Pleasant come back the other way with it. It's Green. Bradford's offside. And I think he was offside pretty much the whole way, but Green didn't look up to see where the Police FC defenders were. It's well done by the Trinidad and Tobago defense shape-wise here. And Green takes the touch. Bradford actually also doesn't look, to be fair. And it's, well, pretty clear cut. A chance here to move this forward. Kyle Ming does very well down this far side, finds Bailey. Bailey's ball into the middle, Green. Oh, tough attempt, to be fair. He had to cushion that with the outside of his right boot, and he wasn't able to put it on target. Great build-up play from Kyle Ming, and it was a searching ball from Kamani Bailey. Tough take for Daniel Green. It's another good positive spell from Mount Pleasant, and the ball stays in play up the other end here. Ramdeen for Police FC, plays it across, and it's touched away. All of a sudden, the hosts were on the break there. Mount Pleasant at the end of the sequence get a throw in after it was won by Gadale Irving. That was the first real opportunity for Police FC to go up the other end, and they nearly made something happen down this near side. Mark Ramdeen not wasting any time, making up the progress. That's going to be a foul and a free kick. Bradford brought down, and the Jamaicans get a free kick. Of course, there's always a little bit of added spice, not just because what's on the line, but of course it's a club from Trinidad and Tobago against a club from Jamaica. There's always a little bit of an extra boost in the intensity when teams from those two countries meet. It is a budding rivalry. And really, it's a rivalry that has continued to be on the center stage. We had, of course, a Caribbean Classico at the last Gold Cup between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago in St. Louis. Shaquille Bradford brought down there for Mount Pleasant, and he's going to need some attention. Holding on to his right ankle, it looked like. As you've already probably gathered from the first nearly 15 minutes here, Shaquille Bradford is a very important part of what Mount Pleasant wants to do, and he's already picked up a bit of a knock here, and they do not want that to be too serious. Well, so far so good for Mount Pleasant. I think Theodore Whitmore, besides not seeing a goal go in, has to like pretty much everything else he's seen from his side early on here tonight. I think Wendell Joseph, you could see some of his reactions and body language. You can tell he has not been pleased and would like to see his team get back to form here, especially from the defensive side. They've been a bit open. That's something they're going to have to clamp down on if they're going to have a chance of moving on. Now then, Mitchell. That pass is cut out, and it's a chance for Mount Pleasant to break up the other end if they hurry here. Irving, little back heel from Campbell, but it's cut out in the end by Alvin Jones. Of course, Alvin Jones and Jovan Jones. Mark Ramdeen, Jabari Mitchell, just some of the notables that are going to be important tonight for the Trinidad and Tobago side. It seems like Alvin Jones and Jovan Jones have maybe as much experience in big competitions out there as anybody on the pitch tonight. It's going to be a whistle.
Unlucky, let it go. Unlucky.
Another look there. It was a moment where Mitchell just wouldn't be allowed to continue on. So Police FC get the decision. Of course, Jovan Jones, a Trinidad and Tobago international, has played 87 games for his country in his career. That ball is touched through by Bailey, but it's cut out. Of course, he's played for multiple MLS teams, Chicago Fire, Seattle Sounders, 2 stints with them, and Inter Miami as well, 18 appearances for them. Also played for the next pro side a couple of seasons ago, Inter Miami CF2, before finally joining Police FC last season. Another good step defensively. That was Simon Bailey. Was able to clear it away for Police FC. Of course, Alvin Jones as well, former OKC Energy player, USL Championship. As this is slid through for Shaquille Bradford from Mount Pleasant. He lays it off. Kamani Bailey. Daniel Green, was he tripped in the penalty area? Faint appeals from the Jamaicans. It's not been given. And Police come the other direction here. Chance to move this forward with Alvin Jones, and he slides it through beautifully here. Hutchinson is not going to get there. It's well recovered, but it'll stay with Police for a throw. Well, was this a penalty? Didn't look like it live, and I don't think that confirms it. Not enough contact. Just to finish the CV on Alvin Jones, former Real Salt Lake player and Real Monarchs as well, but played most of his time with, again, OKC Energy and Forward Madison, USL League One side back in 2022. "55 appearances for him, for his country. Alvin not happy there, but his side is going to get the decision here. It's a free kick. Well, that is what Alvin Jones wasn't too thrilled about. Bundled over on the near side, but the referee did give the free kick at the end. Oh, another player down here, I think, is the goalkeeper for Mount Pleasant, Shaquan Davis. He's in some discomfort here and needs to be looked at by the Mount Pleasant medical staff here. Well, Shaquan Davis hasn't had a ton to do. Must have been something we didn't see that's led to that. Well, again, it's a good time to remind you the kind of personnel that both teams have tonight. Both teams have just one reserve goalkeeper available. Mount Pleasant have Tafari Chambers as the backup tonight. Raheem Lee is Police FC's backup in case there's any problems. But Shaquan Davis looks to be okay. Maybe just needed a moment. We're looking at his left leg. It looks like he's fine for now. We talked about how Mount Pleasant are one of the newer clubs. Police FC are actually approaching their 50th anniversary as a club. That'll be next year, 2025. Club was founded in 1975. And of course, has had some, well, memorable moments in their history. Was a finalist at the 1991 Concacaf Champions Cup, most notably. I'd love to get back there again with a strong performance in this Caribbean Cup. Good job by Irving there to reset for Mount Pleasant and get the ball back. Some time and some space for Kyle Ming. He's forced to go back. Irving up ahead. It's headed to this near side. It floats out of play. And the Jamaicans have a throw midway through the first half. Daniel Green dispossessed. And then Ramdeen is brought down. It's a free kick. Now another look. Mount Pleasant were saying that they got the ball there. First angle didn't look like they did. McCullough and company were not convinced, but is Police FC's possession. Oh, and it's gonna fall for a volley chance. Oh! Kevon Woodley hits it off the outside of the post. How unlucky is he? It's miraculous that he even got the shot away. And he nearly put it on target. It's headed by Ramdeen. It's a wonderful sliding volley. And Shaquan Davis gets nowhere near it. He's beaten. But it smashes off the outside of the frame. Well, we were talking about fine margins earlier. It doesn't get more fine than that. And Woodley is looking up above for an answer. You can't get more unlucky than that. That's by far Police FC's best chance as well. They really haven't had many others. Mount Pleasant have, and they have another chance here with Bailey. Was it touched out of play? Looks like it is going to be a corner for the Jamaicans. Rakeem Cabby on the cover for Police FC. And again, it's another chance here for Mount Pleasant to find the opening goal after they nearly were put behind by Woodley's attempt. From the corner, that's going to go over everybody's head. Cummings keeps it in play. And in the end, Mount Pleasant are forced to have to recycle the possession. That's what can happen with a poor set-piece ball. But it's a great switch of play here. Irving into the middle. Green to the arriving Bailey, and he's blocked. Irving again. Irving back in the middle, can't find Bradford, it's headed away. Still up for grabs, and it's reset by McCullough. Cummings. And it's gonna go all the way back to Davis. Well, now Kamani Bailey had a real chance to shoot there, but give Police FC credit. They had the numbers and were able to block it away before it became a real big trouble moment. Well, chances at both ends. Again, it's just been that kind of week in the Caribbean Cup. Another giveaway here. Chance for Mount Pleasant to maybe make something out of it. It's Campbell. Touch up ahead for Green. Green gets the ball there, but then he is dispossessed. It stays with the Jamaicans on the near side. Throw-ins taken quickly for Campbell. Police were caught out there for a moment. Campbell goes on and somehow drags his shot wide. No deflection. It's a goal kick. And Campbell, hearing the chirps from his teammates, were telling him he maybe had more options there. Campbell looked at least initially like he had at least two teammates over to his right to pick out, but did he have the space? It's always a tough thing to tell. Those situations, sometimes the best option there is to shoot, even though there was two defenders on him in that spot. Angle was against him. Mount Pleasant win the ball back, and they go right back to work here. Irving floating it down the line. That one's going to be too much for Bradford to chase. Oh, good touch from Ramdeen. Up ahead. Oh, it's a poor pass from Woodley, and it's a giveaway to Mount Pleasant. Oh, and then Mount Pleasant looking for a free kick there. Campbell tried to sell it. Referee wasn't buying it. Hutchinson up the other end for Police FC. Trying to get into a spot to shoot. It's Woodley. Hutchinson out wide. Ramdeen back into the middle. Chance here for Jovan Jones. Still Jones. Trying to find some space. He plays it across. It opens up for the shot, but it was closed down on quickly. And Russell Jr. was blocked by Cummings. Bradford up the other end for Mount Pleasant. Three defenders in his vicinity. Bradford tried to cut it back and couldn't take the ball with him. And the pro Police FC crowd appreciates the last-ditch defending. That ball is threaded through. It's touched away by Cabby. Chance for Police to move it up the other end. Oh, lovely ball in behind here. Woodley. Some go to work earlier. Woodley lays it off! Oh! Ramdeen within inches of giving Police FC the lead. Davis couldn't get to it. What a strike. And another moment where Police are a bit unlucky here. Woodley does ever so well. Lays it off. It's a cushioned pass. Ramdeen, vicious strike. But it was always bending away from the target. And in the end, it just misses. Let's see how much it missed by. This will be the definitive view of that. Whoa, it wasn't too far away. Maybe a foot, but more likely inches. And if it was on target, Davis would have had quite the save to make. Two fantastic strikes from Police FC. They've been their only two chances, but they've been ever so close. Sent ahead by Alvin Jones, so he tries to catch Davis out. In the end, he's given the ball back to Mount Pleasant. Davis Loses out to Alvin Jones that time. A little bit of a slip from Jovan Jones. Hutchinson in behind. Woodley! Hutchinson! Oh, it's saved by Davis! Shaquan Davis makes a double save and denies not only Woodley, but Hutchinson. My goodness. Woodley again, it's brilliant work. Hutchinson looks to be onside, but Davis stops him twice. It ends up being not one, not two, but 3 saves from Shaquan Davis. And again, Police FC are thwarted. It's a miraculous stop. The Jamaican goalkeeper comes up with a memorable moment to keep it at 0-0. Hutchinson, feeling the after effects of the sequence, needs a moment. Police FC do have a corner upcoming because Davis slapped the ball out of play. After the bright Mount Pleasant start, it's been Police FC starting to force the issue. And from the corner, it's too close to Davis. And Davis with a brilliant outlet. Daniel Green has acres of space and tries to play in Bradford. But it's well recovered by Alvin Jones, who has time and space up the other end. Now Jones tries to get past a couple of challenges, and he's dispossessed. Kamani Bailey's turn for Mount Pleasant. Here we go again. It's end-to-end. Devontae Campbell gets onto it. Campbell with a push and a chase. Campbell for Bradford. Oh, it goes under his boots. And it falls for Ramdeen for Police FC. And up the other end, there's a push in the back from Kyle Ming. Free kick for Police FC after another frantic sequence. Oh, it's bringing back thoughts of yesterday's game. How have we not had a goal? Both teams have had close calls here. Police FC build towards another opportunity. Jovan Jones for Alvin Jones. Continuing to link up nicely on this near side, as you might expect, but Jovan Jones loses out. Campbell, he's brought back. It's going to be a free kick after the progress was stifled in the end. That'll take us down to 10 minutes, plus stoppage time left in the half here. Ball is pinged onto this near side, but it did take a nick on the way through. Off the head of Hutchinson. Irving. Green, oh, it nearly bounced into the path of Bradford. Police FC look to bring it up the other way, but again, Hutchinson's dispossessed. Devontae Campbell for Green. Kept alive by Anglin. Anglin's shot, oh, was traveling, but it isn't gonna make it all the way through. Kyle Ming lets it spin out for a throw. And his throw-in leads to a corner. So we come back to this end, and Mount Pleasant have a set-piece opportunity. Now Irving, who's been very strong so far for the Jamaicans, will take on this corner. It's going to go right towards goal. It's punched away by Fonsette. Mount Pleasant will have to reset in the end. Again, there was good shape on the cross, but no chance for a teammate to get on the end of it. Oh, lovely touch here from Bradford. Layoff for Bailey. And Bailey misses the chance. Well, it's almost a carbon copy of the Police FC opportunity up the other end. It's lovely, delicate skill from Bradford. Lovely touch, great layoff, and Bailey can't hit the target. It was a very narrow place to aim, but he cannot make Fonsette make a save. But Devontae Campbell goes right back to work. Good pace from him. And he wins a corner for Mount Pleasant on the near side, forcing multiple Police FC defenders to make a challenge. Wow, more defending to do all of a sudden for Police FC after it looked like they were starting to gain a bit of momentum. Mount Pleasant again have a chance to break the deadlock. From the corner, again, it's a good punch from Fonsette. Only as far as Campbell, it's cleared away. Sent right back into Bradford. Headed high into the air by Woodley. Hutchinson doesn't get that right. Green's ball back in. Can it be kept in play? The answer is no. A sliding attempt to keep the possession alive, but it's a goal kick. Good effort. That was Fitzroy Cummings trying to do anything he can to get a touch onto it, just to give his side one more shot at it, but it's a goal kick, and Police FC can finally alleviate some of this Jamaican pressure. That ball's pushed back up the other end. Police FC do well to get a little spell here. Here's Jovan Jones. Jones down the near side. He's bundled over. It's a free kick. McCullough, too much contact. Another look. Oh, clearly pushes him. Not sure he had too much of an argument there. Sule McCullough. It's one thing to make contact with the arm, but when you extend your arms like that, you don't really give the referee much of a choice. Free kick for Alvin Jones. We certainly know what he's capable of from here. Can he pick somebody out? Alvin Jones. Well, a rare, wasteful moment from him. Had the right idea on the shape, but get another moment where just too much was put on it. Police FC again just trying to, well, I think even Wendell Joseph was explaining what they were trying to do there, trying to get it to the back post and then head it down centrally to get one of multiple players to have a shot at tucking it in. But Davis will clear. And there's less than 5 minutes to go in the half. With some stoppage time tacked on at the end, you would think. Still awaiting the first goal in a game that has so much riding on it. Again, Police FC as it stands would be eliminated with a draw tonight. They cannot add on with an extra game. They'll have played their full four as Green tries a volley. But it goes well wide, and now a Mount Pleasant player is down in a heap. Well, it was brief there from Bailey. He's back up. Should mention Mount Pleasant not eliminated with a point. They would still have a chance against Real Hope next week to make it through, but they would have to win that game. There'd be no wiggle room there. It's situation that Police FC are in tonight. They have to win any other result, and they would crash out. You might be thinking, well, Police would have 5 points. They'd be level with Real Hope. Well, they don't have the tiebreaker with Real Hope, and Real Hope have the game in hand as well. So it would not add up well for Police FC if they can't get the 3 points tonight. Wendell Joseph said as much in his pre-match thoughts. Has to be a win. Anything else, and that will be that. Devontae Campbell caught up to on this near side. That is very cleanly done by Kadeem Hutchinson. Somehow that finds its way back through, and it's a chance for Bailey to lead the break for Mount Pleasant. A dink from Green. Oh, goalkeeper comes, doesn't get there. It's cleared away, and it's going to be a throw-in for Mount Pleasant. Bailey either lost his footing or maybe had a little bit of contact there. We'll get another look at this. Well, certainly not enough for a penalty there, but goalkeeper Fonset did not get that right in the end. He completely misses it somehow. But he was lucky that Ross Russell Jr. was there. Oh, and then another chance. Kyle Ming thwarted. Well, Mount Pleasant did not waste any time from the throw-in. And that's Adrian Fonset's biggest moment of the night. Kyle Ming at point-blank range, and he hits it right down the middle. Fonset saves it. Another look, it's Bradford again. It's just excellent build-up play, and hold-up play for that matter. His shot was blocked. Ming follows up, but he hits it right down the middle. Ooh, and then Fonset was a bit awkward there on his clearance up ahead. Almost had a deflection there. And it's going to be a foul against Police FC. Mount Pleasant get the ball back. Well, the player down for Mount Pleasant is Kyle Ming. But he looks to be okay. It's a Mount Pleasant free kick off of this restart. Davis. Shaquille Dyer gives it away to Alvin Jones. Jones up ahead. That's cut out. Another chance here for Mount Pleasant. It's Bradford. And still Bradford, but his shot is blocked by Russell Jr. It is out for a corner. Now, Shaquille Bradford, again, just using his patience, his poise, and his acumen, and wins a corner from Mount Pleasant as we jump into 2 added minutes at the end of the half here in Port of Spain. Now, is someone going to take a lead into the halftime break? From the corner, Hutchinson clears. Another chance maybe for a re-entry here. Green. Campbell. Recycled around for Ming. Ming's ball is up for grabs, and it's headed wide by Irving. A goalkeeper came as well, but closed down the opportunity. And it's a goal kick for Police FC with a minute left in the opening half. Still time for maybe one last chance at the end of this first half. A half, again, that has been filled with opportunities for both sides. Seen a couple of big saves, a post hit. A couple of long-range efforts that were not far away. Campbell stays with it, gets past Alvin Jones. Clips it into the middle, and it's too close to Fonsette, who has no trouble with it. Able to get there well before Shaquille Bradford. Police FC maybe have a chance up the other end. Hutchinson tried to thread it through for Mitchell. It was cut out, and then as Ramdeen tries to win it back, the first half comes to a close here in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, the plot thickens after 45 minutes here. Again, a draw really wouldn't suit either side. It would eliminate Police FC and would put Mount Pleasant behind the 8 ball going into the final match day next week. Something's got to give in the second half after a bountiful amount of chances for both teams in that first half. Somehow, at the half in Port of Spain, it is Police FC 0, Mount Pleasant 0.
Scotiabank is a proud sponsor of the 2024 Concacaf Caribbean Cup, because football inspires kids and transforms futures. Visit www.scotiabank.com/FC to learn more about our football initiatives. Fair play and mutual respect are fundamental to football. Discriminatory behavior is not permitted. We ask you to uphold the principles of fair play and participate in football in a spirit of unity, respect, and equality.
all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the field Miscellaneous Police FC and Mount Pleasant FA.
Let's go. One team. Come, sharp up now.
Charles St. Jacques back here with you, about to get the second half started in this vital Group A encounter in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. 0-0 is the score between third place Police FC and fourth place Mount Pleasant. Both teams came so close to breaking the deadlock in the first half. None closer than him. Kevon Woodley with a couple of huge opportunities, hit the post. Also had a great layoff from Mark Ramdeen, who came close as well. Likes of Bradford, Campbell, and Bailey almost scoring for the Jamaicans as well in the first half. Something has to give, though, as a draw would really do neither side much good going into next week. Police, it's their final group stage game. It would eliminate them if they don't win tonight. And Mount Pleasant with a draw, yes, they'll have a chance, but their backs will be firmly against the wall going into a meeting with Real Hope of Haiti next week. Referee Norberto da Silva of Curaçao gets the second half started here. Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago. The site, it's the Hasely Crawford Stadium. And we have another thriller of a Caribbean Cup tie brewing here to complete what's been a, well, about as thrilling of a week in the Caribbean Cup as we've seen in its first 2 seasons in this new format. Back and forth games every night, crazy moments, and this game has fit the bill as well. It's going to be a free kick for Mount Pleasant. Shaquille Bradford was bumped to the ground. I think Police FC were contending that he handled the ball, but I think he was pushed before that took place. So quickly, it's played in behind. This is Daniel Green with the layoff. Campbell lays it off for Irving. Irving's ball into the middle, had good shape on it, but again, it's too firmly struck. Back heel from Ming. Bailey, first time ball into the penalty area. Oh, it hits off the post! And it goes back out of play for a corner. Oh! Well, Adrian Fonset had such a good first half, but he completely misread it. First time ball played back in by Anglin. Oh, and Fonset thinks it's going out of play. It hit right off the post and then back off of him. If that had deflected to the right, it could have actually gone in. That's how close that was. Remember when I told you there's been some wild moments? My goodness, you can't make something like that up. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Well, Police FC have to regather themselves after that and surge forward with Ross Russell Jr., who makes a lovely marauding run, taking on all comers. And he's fouled and he's furious with the challenge. And Anglin is saying there was nothing untoward. He just tried to stop the run. Well, here's the challenge again. Well, Anglin does put an arm into the side of Russell there. That was a push into Ming. And you can maybe see why Ross Russell Jr. took exception to that. No yellow card. And Police can't do much more with the possession. It bounces out of play. Wonderful job by Russell to win it right back. Mitchell. Turning shot by Woodley is knocked down by Davis. Now, you can't blame Kevon Woodley for taking on the shot. He's come the closest of anybody to scoring tonight. But that was one of his tamer efforts, and it was comfortable in the end for Shaquan Davis. And now maybe Ross Russell Jr. feeling the after effects of the earlier sequence. Well, maybe it's from that challenge. Ross Russell Jr. was hit on both sides in quick succession, once by Anglin and then once under his own doing there, trying to shield the ball away. Russell Jr. is still a bit slow to continue, but he is asking to come back on. So when the referee allows, he can re-enter. Russell's back on. Campbell has it on the far side for Mount Pleasant. Campbell cuts it back. Irving's ball into the middle. Tried to find Bradford, couldn't do it. Police FC come up the other end with Ramdeen. And Ramdeen is bundled over. It's a free kick. Irving, the guilty party here. Another look. Irving did pretty much everything he could to stop Ramdeen from breaking up the other end. And they go nose to nose again. Jovan Jones for Alvin Jones, clipping it forward. Woodley. He is able to hold up the play. Clever skill here from Kevon Woodley. And he is fouled by Dyer. That's going to be a free kick. And Woodley takes exception to the Dyer challenge. Well, Dyer stayed with Woodley pretty much stride for stride until the very end. And, well, he does shove him to the ground, but referee, I think, is just going to leave it at that. It's a free kick, nothing more. And it essentially becomes a short corner here for Police FC. Still early on in the second half. Ball is floated. Oh, it's played right back across. Woodley did everything he could to try to redirect it into the middle. It flies out for a goal kick. Well, there's the initial touch back across. That was Simone Bailey. And then Woodley, well, he was always going away from goal there, but did well to at least make some contact on it. Just couldn't find a teammate, unfortunately. Kevon Woodley's been one of the standout players tonight. Has played 3 times for his country. It's at age now of 38 years old, still doing it at a very high level. Kevon Woodley kind of bounced around club-wise in his career. And he just continues to be a cornerstone piece for the teams he plays for. And he's shown that again tonight, how important his impact can be on a big night like this. It's so much riding on the outcome. Again, that's why both teams are going to be pushing down the stretch. 0-0 doesn't help either side out, really. It eliminates Police FC, and Mount Pleasant would essentially need a minor miracle on the final day. They need results to go their way, and they need to win as well. Here's Mount Pleasant going up the other end, and Campbell is taken out on the far side. It's a yellow card for Alvin Jones, and he needs to be careful with what he says back to the referee here. He's saying that there could have been yellow cards given to the Mount Pleasant players earlier, but that's clearly a yellow. He gets absolutely nowhere near the ball. Takes down Campbell and has to be careful because, again, referees can be well within their right to give another yellow for dissent. So Alvin Jones is a very important player for Police FC. He's going to have to be careful for the remainder of his participation tonight.
From Miscellaneous Police FC in the 54th minute.
Campbell is tough to catch, that's for sure. He wins a free kick here for the Jamaicans. Can Mount Pleasant make something of it? Well, not quite initially there. Quick clearance, only as far as Irving. Irving's ball back in, bounced around. Bailey was closest to it. Mount Pleasant, and it's cleared away. And Police FC have a chance to break up the other end here with Jovan Jones, Kevon Woodley, Hutchinson, Mitchell, and Russell blocked out for a corner after a big touch defensively from Jashawn Anglin. And the crowd here at the Hasely Crawford Stadium getting behind Police FC. That's maybe the loudest we've heard the crowd, other than the 2 big missed opportunities for Police FC back in the first half. And from the corner, Davis didn't get it cleanly, but he did get it. Sends it upfield for Bradford. Bradford knew that Bailey was offside, continues to work it forward. Still Shaquille Bradford. Kamani Bailey tries to switch it over to the opposite side. It falls for Green. Green's layoff. And the shot is spurned over the top. And it's a Police goal kick after Anglin went for the spectacular. Green. Green up ahead. It's Shaquille Bradford. Back for Green. And Green bends it over the top and out. Police FC were convinced that Bradford was offside, but the flag never went up. We get a view of it here. And Bradford was offside. I don't think the assistant had caught up to see it. Well, luckily in the end, that did not end up being a goal. That would have been a little bit of a controversial moment there. Shaquille Bradford was offside by about a step. The assistant referee wasn't there to see it. One back by Police FC. This is Ramdeen. And no foul there. Dyer helps to win it back for Mount Pleasant. Campbell against Jones again. Jones has to be careful on the yellow card, but he gets back to Campbell's hip. Bailey's in the middle. Good save. Fonset thwarts Kamani Bailey. Bailey gets back onto it. Green tried to find Bradford, but went over the wrong shoulder. And Adrian Fonset, after his awkward moment earlier with the post, makes a fine stop. Oh, Kamani Bailey, that's the closest he's come, as he missed the target with a chance inside the penalty area in the first half. And it's quickly won back by Irving here for Mount Pleasant. Plays it across, it never gets to Green, cut out by Primus. And Police FC bring it up the other end as we approach the hour mark. Mitchell, hopeful ball here, and it's not going to get to Hutchinson. It's a goal kick. Hutchinson appreciates the thought. Now, is somebody going to find a moment here? It's such a similar position that we had last night in the Caribbean Cup as well. And now a chance here for Mount Pleasant. Oh, Bradford lost his footing. Shaquille Bradford was potentially in behind there. Little hint of offside, but it's a moot point. He lost his footing at the end and actually bumped into Fonset. It didn't work out in the end. Campbell. Campbell to the byline. Good touch by Jones, out of play, but it is a corner for the Jamaicans. Well, we got another boxing fight, if you will, on our hands here. Big swings being taken by both combatants, but none have really landed a big blow yet. Feels so much like the game we had last night in Kingston. There was the bump from Bradford. Referee did not give a foul for that. And from the corner, again, Fonset punches away. Ramdeen helps it along for Woodley. And Woodley loses out to Bradford and then fouls Bradford on the back end. Free kick for Mount Pleasant. Well, the Jamaicans did everything they could just to try to keep this alive. I beg your pardon, ends up being Ming, who was fouled there. Well, Ming's had some strong moments tonight, almost scored, of course, in the first half. Great work from him there to give Mount Pleasant a fresh spell of possession. Cummings gets Davis involved, and there's 30 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Cummings. Near side, Anglin. Anglin through. That was very close to slithering inside for Daniel Green. And again, Mount Pleasant will get a set piece out of it. another opportunity. Irving will take. Can Mount Pleasant take a giant step towards surviving into next week? Comes up short. Green plays it back in. Again, police are able to clear it. Woodley able to play it up ahead here. And was that a foul? Referee says no. Mount Pleasant have numbers potentially up the other end. Oh, and that was a drag back. Woodley is going to pick up a yellow card for hauling down Campbell. That's another moment where Police FC thought they should have been given a free kick at one end and then commit a frustration foul at the other end and pick up a yellow card. Woodley knows exactly what he's doing here. It's actually a dangerous challenge. And actually grabs the, well, almost grabs the horse collar, really, of Devontae Campbell right by his neck. He drags him down. And you can see why tempers frayed between the two sides afterwards. Again, Woodley's yellow card is confirmed. Campbell is still down here for Mount Pleasant. And the other part of the sequence was that Dyer was trying to put the ball down and Woodley wouldn't let him reset for the free kick either. I don't think the dust is quite settled yet. We're starting to see some of the desperation that we expected in a game with this much magnitude. And Police FC are getting those players ready to potentially come on momentarily. The likes of Ezekiel Kassar, who was a hero earlier in the group stage. Josiah Wilson and Xavier Rajpal are all waiting in the wings. What hasn't Theodore Whitmore seen in his career? This is par for the course for him, but he knows that if his team cannot get a victory, it is going to be an uphill climb next week against Real Hope. A win for Mount Pleasant could put them in a tremendous position because they'll have multiple options to progress next week. Anything else, though, and they'll be firmly behind the eight ball and in a must-win situation. It's much more immediate for him, Wendell Joseph and Police FC. They have to win any other results, and they are out. Again, the good news for all of that, as you see some of the spectators here, is that this game is still very much hanging in the balance. There's still time for something to occur. But I must say, time can fly when you're having fun. At least the neutrals can say that tonight. There's only 25 minutes plus stoppage time left. One goal could be enough. Mount Pleasant have the free kick here. It's blasted into the police wall. Player goes down, feeling the after effects of taking that shot. My goodness. Well, the shot had a lot of venom in it. It's Bailey for Police FC that just needed a moment, and, well, fair play to the referee for giving him that time because that went right into a very sensitive area. Before the play is allowed to resume, it's actually going to be both teams making changes here. Nathaniel James is going to come on. I think Nicholas Nelson is also, yes, going to come on for Mount Pleasant FA here. Two players coming off. Shaquille Bradford, who's one of the best players on the pitch. Tough to see him go from Mount Pleasant point of view. And Daniel Green exits as well.
3 substitutions.
Now here come all the
for
Police
Miscellaneous
FC changes.
Jabari Mitchell being replaced by number 4, Xavier Rajpal.
Xavier Rajpal is taking the place of Jabari Mitchell.
By number 24.
Josiah Wilson is coming on as well.
Number 22, Mark Randim. Being replaced by
Randim
number
is off
24,
there.
Ezekiel Kesa. All in the 67th.
Ezekiel Kassar is also on. So there are the changes there. It looks like, and we'll recap this in a moment because Mount Pleasant are on the attack here. There were 5 changes in total, 3 for Police and 2 I should say for Mount Pleasant. Handball given there. Gives Police FC the possession. The 3 changes, if you look at the handball here, it does come off the arm of the recently introduced Nicholas Nelson. Xavier Rajpal, Josiah Wilson, Ezekiel Kassar all came on. Mark Randim, Kadeem Hutchinson, and Jabari Mitchell all came off for Police FC. Daniel Green, Shaquille Bradford off for Mount Pleasant. Nelson and Nathaniel James on for the Jamaicans. So 5 in all, 3 for Police, 2 for Mount Pleasant. As Jovan Jones, he injured himself trying to cut that back. Going up the other end for Mount Pleasant was Campbell, and he continues to have a bit of a back and forth with Alvin Jones. Jones has got to be careful. I know that there's competitive nature and the battle is raging on here, but he can't pick up a second yellow card there. He's got to tread lightly. Police come up the other end. Could be a chance here for Wilson. Wilson's cross. He's going to be blocked by Ming. It is going to be a corner for Police FC. Chance of let's go, Police, let's go. Coming from the Trinidad and Tobago faithful here in Port of Spain. Rooting on their fellow countrymen here. Game still hanging in the balance at the Hasely Crawford Stadium, coming down on 20 minutes to play. Police FC's turn from the corner. Kassar. It's a little too far in the end, but Cabby tried to keep it alive. Police still have the possession. Bailey back into the middle. Oh, it was a little too tall in the end for Primus, who stayed up there, and Ming sends it back out for another corner. From the corner, goalkeeper comes, and Davis does get there. And again, just smashes it up ahead. Gets good distance on that clearance, I should say. Nelson also with some good hold-up play. And then Campbell is shielded away from it. Bailey and company win it back for Police FC. 20 minutes in stoppage time remaining in a game that really both teams have to win. Mount Pleasant gets the ball back. Oh, that's not the best clearance. Kassar has already been a hero in the Caribbean Cup this season. And a foul is going to go against Russell Jr. going through the back of Kamani Bailey. Another look. It's actually a pretty poor challenge from Russell there. Up the other end, Mount Pleasant. Well, a sight of goal for Nathaniel James, but he cannot hit the target. We're getting to the point where decision-making is going to have to improve inside the penalty area. Again, if this result holds, Real Hope will have multiple ways of qualifying next week when they play Mount Pleasant. And Cavalier will just have to take care of business against already eliminated Arnett Gardens. And the current top 2 will be the top 2 that qualify. That would be most likely scenario. Again, things could still change. Mount Pleasant would not be out yet. In some ways, a draw would pretty much set up a winner-take-home game between Mount Pleasant and Real Hope next week. But again, Real Hope would have the upper hand because if they were to pick up a draw, they'd still move on and Mount Pleasant would be eliminated. That's really what Mount Pleasant are fighting for here tonight. Have the advantage of still moving on with other results next week. That's really what's up for grabs for them. And of course, avoiding defeat. This defeat would put them in a very tough spot next week, although a similar scenario. Bailey had the right idea, but it was too close to the goalkeeper. Fonsette sends it forward. Good turn by Jovan Jones into space for Police FC. Still Jones. And Jones has it poked away from him. Now Mount Pleasant could come the other way, but it's too close to Fonsette, trying to find Bailey. Oh, lovely bit of skill here. This is Wilson! And Wilson's shot is blocked. Well, that's the kind of burst that Josiah Wilson was brought on for. But it was well recovered by the Mount Pleasant defense. Russell up ahead. Rajpal gets involved. Good step in. Police FC have the possession with Jovan Jones on the far side. Jones gets past Irving. Woodley! Oh! It nearly fell for Wilson. But Wilson was moving away from the ball and couldn't keep it alive. Woodley's got to get back up. Police have the possession again. Alvin Jones. Hopeful effort. Well, another look. Great job here by Jovan Jones. Picks out a lovely cross. Decent header by Woodley. But in the end, it was too much for Wilson to try to keep it going. And frankly, he didn't have much to aim at if he had gotten a touch to it. And then Alvin Jones, a bit wasteful, really, with the shot. We're getting to the part of the game where those long-distance efforts are really not helping either side. They're becoming wasteful opportunities. Great hustle by Woodley. He keeps that alive for Police FC. This is Wilson. And Wilson is thwarted by Cummings. But Jones steps right back in. And Jovan Jones commits a foul. That's a free kick. He's saying he was fouled. Referee doesn't agree with his assessment. It's a free kick for the Jamaicans with 15 minutes of the 90 left. Well, on second examination there, I'm not sure why Jovan Jones tried to make a case. His arm clearly hits up against the opponent. It's actually very well spotted by the referee. We didn't see that first time around. Mount Pleasant go back on the attack. It really feels like, again, another ebb and flow, seesaw back and forth game, with both teams taking turns trying to break down the other. Police FC been more in the ascendancy in these last 15 minutes. So far, to be fair, Shaquan Davis really hasn't been called upon to make a big save in this second half. Mount Pleasant's defending has been enough so far. Bailey can't get onto the pass from James. It's kept alive by Anglin. Ming for James. And it deflects out of play off of Bailey. It looks like it's going to be a throw-in for Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant are going to make a substitution here. Looks like Kamani Bailey is going to come out here. Well, he came close multiple times to scoring tonight, but his night ends prematurely here. Jean Ferreira is the man on to replace him. Could he be a late hero for Mount Pleasant? He gets right to work here. His cross into the middle is dangerous. Wonderful skill, and Fonset saves. Rebound is blocked. Nathaniel James thwarted by the goalkeeper at close range, and the rebound never got through. Player down for Mount Pleasant in the penalty area, but the Jamaicans are going to keep playing. Irving trying to find space for a shot. It's clipped out wide by McCullough. Campbell, another chance, and it's spurned again by James, and again Anglin goes down in a heap. Well, lovely first contribution by Ferreira. Quick feed from James, but Fonset in the right space to make the block, and then Anglin was blocked on the follow-up. Another close call for Mount Pleasant. Police survived the sequence. Another look, great move from James, does everything right, but can't score the goal. Fonset comes up with a huge, maybe, campaign-saving save for Police, depending on how this ends up tonight. Police's Caribbean Cup lives just flashed before their eyes there. Police are going to make a change here. Kwesi Allen is going to come on after a valiant shift from the 38-year-old Kevon Woodley on a yellow card. Is going to exit in the 79th minute. That leaves Police FC with one change remaining. Mount Pleasant have two left. And Police FC come up the other end with Wilson. Mount Pleasant handle the situation, and they do better than that. They clear it. But only as far as Russell Jr. Russell goes on. Can he pick out a cross in the middle? There's open shirts there. The header is central! And it's another missed opportunity. This time Allen, who literally just came on seconds ago. He was looking to appeal to the referee for a possible foul. Referee wasn't interested. And another close call, although I must say, the header was nowhere near the target. Great run from Russell Jr. Cushioned header centrally, was nearly perfect. And Allen, maybe a little rusty, coming off the bench, heads it nowhere near the target, but it's another close call. Now Pleasant stretched at the back. And Anglin's nagging injury is going to be assessed here and take us into the final 10 minutes of stoppage time. All the fans here at the Hasely Crawford Stadium trying to push Police FC towards a winner here. But are they going to run out of time? Let's turn it out in Tobago's side here. Again, a point would get Police into a tie for second, but remember, Mount Pleasant and Real Hope play each other next week, and well, someone's going to get a result there. Points are going to be won somehow. And that means Police will be eliminated with a draw or a defeat. They have to win this, or else they're done. It's not the same situation for Mount Pleasant, but they'll have much fewer options to progress next week if they don't get a victory here. Oh, the next 9 minutes, it can't be overstated, could have a gigantic impact on how this group finishes. Not just these two impacted, Cavalier and Real Hope will be also impacted, depending on how this game ends. A ton riding on the next 9 minutes and change. And if there are people supporting Cavalier, maybe some of the members of both teams watching, we know it's been that kind of tournament. So many twists and turns, ebbs and flows. You'll know the full picture for next week when this game completes. It's not just the fans going through it right now. It is the teams not playing as well. Not sure what their fates are going to be and what they're going to need next week yet. Real Hope in particular, waiting to see what they're going to need in order to advance. 8 minutes left. Jovan Jones has a set piece here for Police FC. Can Police FC score the goal they need to have? Jones sends it in. It was cleared away by McCullough. Oh, and it's not a good touch from Ferreira. Goes right back out for a corner. Basically hands Police FC another opportunity here. Jovan Jones will take again. Well, actually, it was Ferreira ends up blocking that. Looks like he was far enough away that it wasn't within the 10 yards, so it will be a retake. Jones a third time. Goes to the edge of the penalty area. And it was cleverly set up on the very edge of the 18-yard box. And Rajpal misses the target. And Police FC are going to roll one more dice here. Elijah Belgrave, he's going to come on for the hosts here. And Rakeem Kabi, he's going to exit. And if, well, my notes are correct, that is the last Police FC change they're allowed tonight. That's 5 out of 5. Elijah Belgrave is on. As we look at the last opportunity for Xavier Rajpal, again, could not hit the target. Clever little layoff, though, by Jovan Jones. It needed more quality on the finish. Russell Jr.'s header right back out of play. Throw in for Mount Pleasant. It's played up ahead. James helping it along. Oh, it's not headed clear yet. Campbell able to pick up the pieces. Goes at Alvin Jones once more. And nearly gets by him, but Jones makes it up and commits, I should say, wins a foul. It's a free kick. Well, Campbell tried to make Jones look silly there, and they continue to go back and forth. Alvin Jones was just not going to let Campbell by. That ball is threaded through, though. Nelson can't get there. Oh, the goalkeeper spills it. Goalkeeper's off his line. Has to get back. And Alvin Jones comes up with a huge challenge, but I'll tell you what, he's a bit unlucky to pick up a foul there. Alvin Jones needed to make that challenge because the goal was gaping for Police FC. Campbell gets on the end of this. Oh, maybe it is a foul, but it's a bit harsh. If Jones doesn't make that challenge, Police FC are in a big heap of trouble there. And Alvin Jones is a bit unfortunate. Well, Mount Pleasant have a free kick, but at least Police FC are able to get organized again to defend it. And from the set piece, well, it's right at the goalkeeper. And Fonset is able to corral it rather comfortably. His clearance upfield is going to bounce in behind. Oh, and there was a push in the back. It's another Mount Pleasant free kick. And we are getting into the dying embers of this one. Final 4 minutes. Police FC have to win. And Mount Pleasant would be up against it if they don't win next week. Ball in behind, flag is up. Nicholas Nelson didn't peek over his shoulder. It's a free kick for Police FC. Well, another look. Number 19 in blue is the player to watch, and my goodness, he should have looked over his shoulder. Nelson offside by a mile. Played up ahead by McCullough. Is Nelson onside this time? No is the answer. Well, that's back-to-back miscued runs from the substitute. Just giving Police FC opportunities to get back on the ball, although I must say this time, Nelson may have actually had a case. Looked like he was level with Alvin Jones based on that angle. Well, Pleasant may have been hard done by a bit there. Well, play continues. Here's Devontae Campbell. Up ahead for Nelson. Nelson in behind. Back for Nelson, and another huge block. Adrian Fonset rescues Police FC again. And Nicholas Nelson had the game at his feet. He could have eliminated Police FC right there. Tough to tell if it was blocked before it got to the goalkeeper, but either way, it's heroic defending from the Trinidad and Tobago side here. Huge moment, and it was saved by Fonset. The captain comes through again. And from the corner, it's headed down. Another chance to lay it off. Ferreira is gonna shoot! Oh! It's onto the roof of the net. And the substitute had a chance to win it with what would have been a superb strike. Goal kick is the outcome. Another look here, Ferreira's wonderful technique. And he ends up hitting the wrong side of the netting. Final 2 minutes here. It's on the wrong end of the pitch for Police FC. Campbell dragged down, free kick. This time Kassar commits the foul. Well, any goal that's scored now could very well be the winner. But again, Police FC have to defend this and then somehow get it up the other end. They're the team in dire need right now. But it's Mount Pleasant on the attack. Another long-distance effort that is very, very wasteful. Campbell this time had more time and space. Fonset sends it ahead into the 90th minute. Police don't do a ton with their possession there, but they win it back through Bailey and then Alvin Jones. Jones up ahead. Oh, that might have hit off an arm. Referee did not see it. It's cleared away. It's going to be a throw-in for Police FC. We'll await official confirmation, but we have been told there's going to be a pretty good amount of stoppage time remaining. Here comes Mount Pleasant up the other end. It's Nathaniel James. Touched out of play by Wilson. It's a throw-in for the Jamaicans. I think before it's taken, we'll find out officially how much stoppage time there is to be left. And 5 minutes is the outcome. 5 added minutes to see if someone can find some late glory. Police FC get an early free kick in stoppage time here. Fonset blasts it ahead. Oh, that was a fierce challenge. Coming in from the substitute, Belgrave, he put all of his muscle into that. It's a free kick for the Jamaicans. And Kyle Ming got the worst of that. The look, well, Belgrave, I'm not even sure he looked at the ball at the end. He just went right through Ming. See his head dip down. And he realized he couldn't get the ball. If Belgrave had been on for a vast majority of the match, it would have been likely seeing a yellow card for that. The referee lets him go because it's his first real challenge. Well, Ming is being looked at here, and we'll see how much that impacts the rest of stoppage time here. And that's up to the referee and the fourth official to keep track of that. Alvin Jones has certainly made his presence felt tonight. He's been playing on a yellow card for quite some time and doing rather well. I might add. Trying to keep Police FC hanging around. That stoppage took a little under a minute. About 45 seconds have gone off the clock here. We'll see if that is factored in after the 5 minutes have been played. When the free kick is blocked, looks like it's just going to go out for a Mount Pleasant throw. There was... Oh, the referee's actually... Oh, the referee is saying it was a handball. Referee says it was a handball against Allen. So Police ends up allowing Mount Pleasant to take the free kick again from a shorter distance. Oh, a slip here! And the shot is spurned again over the top. A rare miscue defensively from Alvin Jones. And I'm not sure Devontae Campbell's had a better chance to score all night. It was wide open for him, and he took it too quickly. More Mount Pleasant pressure. Fonset clears it upfield. Headed on down this near side for Wilson to chase, and well, Mount Pleasant will give Police FC a throw in here. 2 minutes at a minimum remaining. Wilson's ball into the middle is caught by Davis. Davis up ahead. Big battle going on here with Nelson, trying to fend off Primus. Nelson has the ball. Oh, he tried to thread it through, but Ferreira and James were not ready for it. Ponset has to get it upfield for Police FC, but he gives it away to Ming. And then Ming to Russell. Russell can't keep it in. And more time's gonna go off the clock. Ming's throw-in. Flicked on him behind Nelson. Pursues it. Oh! Fonset, my goodness. Nearly gave the game away. Not on the same page with Primus. Gives it right back to Mount Pleasant. And it's threaded through here. Ball's played across looking for James. Still a chance. Oh, and a huge block inside the penalty area. And Mount Pleasant are thwarted again. And then a foul goes Police FC's way. Now James could have shot the initial attempt. He played it across. I think it was Campbell again. What a chance to shoot. It didn't work out. He played it across. And Police FC got a touch onto it. Throw-in for the hosts here. Final seconds, and then maybe 40 seconds after that. We'll have to wait and see. This could be Police's last chance to stay alive. Belgrave. It's knotted down, and the volley is blocked. Kassar thwarted. It rolls back into the penalty area. Bailey gives chase. Trying to keep it in, but Irving comes out with it. Police are stretched at the back. Campbell leads the break. And Jones is able to stop it before it was a 3-on-2. Anglin back in. Mount Pleasant could still win this. There's not much time left. A draw would put them in a tough spot next week. James can't find Ferreira. Fonset is there. Is there enough time for Police FC to go up the other end? Still no whistle. Header down in the middle. And it falls kindly for Mount Pleasant here. Campbell lost his footing. Goes up against Jones one more time. But the pass goes too far back for Irving. Irving is held up, and my goodness, it's full time in Port of Spain. Police FC are eliminated from the Concacaf Caribbean Cup. Mount Pleasant do pick up a point, and they stay alive, obviously, but they will be the underdogs next week in a winner-go-home showdown against Real Hope. My goodness, another game with chances galore, and somehow it finishes 0-0 and honors even. Both teams gave it every ounce of energy that they had in this first ever meeting.
Caribbean Cup.
But my goodness, heartbreak for Police FC at the end. They had multiple chances in the second half to win it. They couldn't take advantage. Mount Pleasant had chances at the end to win it, but they will be behind the 8 ball next week against Real Hope. Melodrama after melodrama in the Caribbean Cup. 0-0 is the final score at the Hasely Crawford Stadium. We'll step aside for a moment. You'll hear from a player each from both camps, and we'll wrap it up with highlights and stats after another heart-stopper in the Concacaf Caribbean Cup.
The outstanding support of the tournament partners. Thank you for coming to the Concacaf Caribbean Cup at the Hasely Crawford Stadium. Thank you and have a safe journey home. Good night.
Black Aquarius Live.
We're speaking with Captain Sule Mekala of. Tell us your reactions to the game. You came to Trinidad and you got a point. How do you feel?
We are very grateful, but it was a game that we thought we could have won because we created a lot more chance than the police team.
As the game progressed, even though it was a goalless draw, there were a lot of chances for either teams. The game was actually exciting. What do you think led to that?
It was an open game. Both sides came out to attack, and so both teams created a lot of chances.
And how does this result set you up for your remaining match?
It set us up. I think we are on 4 points, so I think we have to go to win the next game, definitely to be into the next round.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much.
We're speaking here with Mark Ramdin of Miscellaneous Police. Mark, it turned out to be a closely contested game, but we didn't get the results when police to advance. So how do you feel about it?
A bit disappointed. Really wanted to go to the next level, but the next step. But I guess God has his plans for us, so yeah.
Generally, how would you sum up this game? Because both teams really give it their all to try to get that go-ahead goal.
Yeah, it was a tough game, really. Both teams were going end to end, and yeah, I think everyone, the result says itself, you know. Everyone went at it, and we draw.
What do you think is next for Miscellaneous Police?
I don't know. We will see.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.